everyone, my name is Zach REDRUP. This is the It's Not a Phase podcast, and on this episode I'm joined by State of You frontman Steve Sitkowski. We discuss the band's newly released EP, On a Knife's Edge, having a vault of over 50 unreleased songs in the bag, implementing more melody this time around, how things have changed in the world of music since his previous band Outcry Collective, and loads more. But real quick, before we start the chat, if you've enjoyed any episode of the podcast so far, then I'd really appreciate it if you could take a few seconds of your time to support it. You can hit subscribe or follow wherever you're checking this out so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. You can leave a review or a comment. You can go and follow the podcast on social media, and there's also a Patreon and there's a web store if you did want to go one step further. I've shoved all the links to everything that I've just mentioned in the description of this episode, or you can head to itsnotaphase.co.uk. And now, here's my chat with State of You vocalist Steve Sitkowski. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me on this episode of the It's Not a Phase podcast, where I'm joined by Steve of State of You. How's it going, man?
Great. Yeah, really good. I was thinking about this the other day because, sometimes when someone says like, "How you doing?" You're like, "I don't know." Like, I had like a shit morning, boring afternoon. Then I had a great night sort of thing. But I'm good. I think I'm sort of quite like I'm not like one of these Zen people, but like meditation. But right now I'm good. But I'm real excited. Like I said, I listened to a podcast, and when I made it, I did done a few for this release, and I was like, oh, great, man. I'm well up for that. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah, awesome, man. And it's good that you're in a sweet spot personally, because obviously when this episode comes out, the new EP from your band will be out. But right now, it's like the day before the release of the second EP, which is called On a Knife's Edge. How are you feeling about getting this batch of songs out there?
Yeah, really good. I mean, it was quite a weird one because the fact that our drummer Nick was in New Zealand for 6 months, and kind of, I mean, like especially like Ollie, one of the guitarists, he's just so prolific. He's got his own setup, and he's just constantly like, "What about this one? What about this one?" And I literally the other day I counted because he lost his computer, and I went through all of our WhatsApp stuff. I was like, "We've got like 72 songs, like
Wow.
here, like kind of like a lot of them vocal demos and everything." But we just went with the last six sort of thing, the top six, and they were just so much more melodic. And I was really kind of like, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? Kind of like what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
And every time I'd sit down and I'd listen and I'd be like, like that sort of thing. And then every now and then, these little hooks or like sort of ideas came in, and then right before recording and then during recording, I just was like, just like super focused, got it done. And afterwards, and like Oz Cracks is just this phenomenal producer. He just seems to somehow just sort of just click anyway, but he just knows how to kind of work with me and everything. And then came out of it, and I was like, okay, that I feel like that's the best I could have done, you know, at the time. And we had Chris Kybert from Breathe the Rhino on drums. I saw a review today, and it was really complimentary, and which is always good. And then it said, and Nick Jones on the drums, and I was like, oh man, like kind of, I just want to make it clear, like Nick didn't play on the record,
Yeah.
Chris did. You know what I mean? But I'm super excited. And I've had some friends and other bands and stuff reach out and just say, oh, this is a step up. This feels like a step up and everything. But yeah, it's just I think when I was younger and I was in a band, I think I was always like, hey, how do you get there? Oh, wouldn't it be good if we had this many people jumping or whatever? And as I've gotten like older, I just realized now it's literally just enjoying it all. And right now I'm just yeah, it's kind of weird thing. It's the EP out tomorrow because I kind of stopped listening to it a bit. I was like, I want to.
Right.
The singles came out. I just want to sort of give it some distance sort of thing. And then today I was like, oh fuck it, I'll put it on. And I was like, yeah, man, this is the shit. It's just like I think, you know what I mean? Like kind of
Yeah.
just like I'm super super proud of it. And I also get it if people are just like whoa, what like that or like gatekeepery like no, but I don't care. I'm really proud of it. Really proud to be in the band, and yeah, I don't know what I'll do to celebrate tonight. Maybe an episode of Twin Peaks. That's what I'll do.
Why not? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen it before. I'm on the second season. David Lynch, has passed away, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely got to finish it. But yeah, it's good, man.
I've not seen it yet, so I've been
Oh,
meaning
it's
to for so long, but just hasn't happened.
Oh no, it's really good. And the only reason I got into it, actually, Woody from Poland told me about it a long time ago. And then I played, I don't know if you're a gamer, but Alan Wake 2, it's this
Right.
ridiculously good, like sort of horror sort of thriller thing. And all the reviews, they're like game of the year, like very Twin Peaks vibe, very Twin Peaks vibe. And I checked it out. I'm like, yeah, man, like there's a reason it just, throughout generations just keeps coming back and everything. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
definitely recommend it.
Yeah. It's on my list, but yeah, I'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm a dad. I've got like this huge list, and people tell me like, "Oh, you got to see, Black Doves or whatever and everything." I'm like, "Nah, man, I still got to see like, True Detective season 3 or whatever it was."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah, when he's like 18 and out of the house, that's what I'll
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Um, so yeah, how do you feel it kind of follows up from the debut EP because that came out in 2022. So yeah, you had these like collection of songs. So was it just a case of you just wanted to do the newest ones that you'd written, like this vault of songs that you had behind you?
No, I mean, I like come on last. I mean, they sort of layer it, and then I'll come in and I'll put in my 2 cents and be like, "Okay, what if you bring this riff back or that?" But for the most part, I just sort of everything they do is it's very rare. I'm kind
Right.
of like, I don't really like that sort of thing. And then I just sort of like like I said, it's kind of weird. So like sometimes it's really quick, and I'm like, boom, this reminds me. I mean, I'm always writing. I'm finding lyrics when I was like 15 around the place and stuff.
Right.
And I just knew like, right, it's not like the first one, which was kind of like it felt a lot more like riff on top of riff into like half time into something I can kind of just yell over that. I was like, if I'm just screaming and not pitching and not warming up and not kind of thinking about structure, then I could find myself in some trouble when I'm going to try and do it live or something.
Mhm.
But we've been rehearsing because we've got this show on Saturday, and I was just like, oh man, I've got it. It's kind of It's not something which I feel like I'm lying on record, and it's something like some audio and stuff. I mean, I'm not Adele. I mean, no one's gonna come in and be like, "Ah, hey, hit the octave a little nap." But I'm yeah. I just think it was the last song on the record. Was the first one I kind of got, and I was like, let me just try this. And when I vocal demo it, I'm not like I can't read music. Yeah, I can play riffs on guitar and stuff like that,
Yeah.
but I'm not someone who sort of can sort of be like, right, I'm gonna hit this and that. I just like, right, I want to say this here like this. And I just go with it and go with it, go until I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty confident. And I'll back it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kind of and and also know when to be like, okay, I mean there's a few even lyrics on this one, I'm like, okay, that's not too deep or anything. Some of it I'm like, wow, man, that's pretty personal. I feel a little naked, having out there and talking about it. But
Yeah.
then other stuff, I'm like, okay, that's intentionally just like a fun sort of. It's just sort of not dumb, but kind of dumb. You know what I mean, like that. Which I
Yeah.
think is what rock and roll is. You can't take it all completely seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. We like you say, it is a more melodic EP than the first one. So is that something that you had to like actively work on then for you to kind of fit into that position?
Dude, I'm going to tell you this story, right? So I used to be in this band Outcry Collective, and I remember um, this was I don't know 2010 or something. I think we were going to record our second album, or we were demoing it, and it never came out because the band split up beforehand. But I think someone at the label or was like, why don't you try doing some singing lessons, right? And
Right.
I was like, all right, sort of thing. Yeah, I'll try it. I've never wanted to be a singer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, And I mean, to be honest, I never really wanted to like be in a band. Like, oh, I want to be up there doing this. I just wanted space. I just was like, it looks a lot more fun having space to jump around. That's genuinely what I kind of felt like. So I
Right.
went to see this vocal coach, and I remember, I mean, this was like I don't know about 6 sessions in, right? It's in Twickenham, right? I'm there a little early because I already feel like she's not really, you know. I remember the first she was like, just giving an impression of what you do. So I was like, cool, like full on or whatever. She was like, hey, you can't do that because you're gonna lose your voice. I'm like, well, that's what I do, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm waiting for her to finish her session. And do you remember Savage Garden, the
Yeah.
band Savage Garden? Well, the singer comes out of the room, right, with this coach, and they're like, I'm going to do a bad impression, but he was like, "Oh, thank you so much, it's amazing, and I finally feel like I can get it out there, and you've helped me." And there's this big hug, and I'm like watching this thing. I was like, "Oh, this is nice. They're really bonding." Like that, and he's buzzing. He's a little guy. And he's see you next week. Turns to me and gives me a little head nod. I'm like that, and I turn to her, and she literally goes, "Stephen,
No.
come on," like that.
Oh no.
It's like kind of like all right. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, although I do a mean Liam Gallagher karaoke impression. I can do the lean and the shine, but
Have you seen
yeah,
the parka coat as well?
oh yeah, man, all of it. The
Yeah.
park. I mean, there we go. It was a gift that I got given. Look at that, which is
Oh, right.
actually, but he never wore white glasses. I mean, I've never once seen him wear
No,
white
that seems more
glasses.
like a John Lennon kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. I might,
Yeah.
might have to speak to that company and just to let you know. You might need to change it.
Yeah.
And he's got no
Oh,
mouth. It freaks me out. They never have any mouths. I thought, oh,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It is a bit odd.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like you say, you had this like you've got this vault of 50 plus songs. How do you like work on them? Do you like take from them and make songs later down the line, or what goes on with
Nah,
them? You just
it's literally like kind of an idea will come in, and especially in COVID, it was all sending files.
yeah.
What do you think of this? Change this, and sometimes I'll be like, oh no, 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 like kind of, I love the way that was. Then it then turns into something else, and I mean, even on this one, the fourth song, double barreled, at one
Hmm.
point was like really, really different, but not like the verses. And I
Right.
love the chorus of, and I personally was like, man, I'm really pleased with that. I think I've got some like great melody and it sounds different. And then it just evolved into something else. And then you just sort of have to let those sort of go and be like, all right, well, we'll just trust that everything's going for a reason. It's just sort of going to get there. But I really think it was the last six. Is it 6 songs? Yeah, the last 6 songs. And I mean, right now, if we just stopped writing right now, we could put out another, I don't know, like 7 or 8 EPs or 4 albums worth that I know I'd be like, no, that's solid stuff. I mean, there's one song I was like, how are we not doing this one? This is so heavy. This is just makes me want to fuck it. I didn't even like throw shakes in the pit. I'm too old. I just want to okay, let's go like that. And they're like, no, 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 we're gonna do this one, which is really melodic. And I'm like, great, cool, great. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that. But then it's turned out all right. I feel like kind of, it's nice to push yourself and put yourself in some uncomfortable like waters in order to then sort of feel, I know, as like a confidence boost and that sort of stuff. But
Yeah, just try new
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like I heard Chris Cornell, this is like the what I can't I never saw him live. Did you ever see him live?
No, I don't think so. No.
And I don't know how I didn't. I've seen so many. I've been really fortunate. Yeah, I heard him talking about it, and he was like, in order to kind of learn your voice to get comfortable, was like, just make weird sounds. Just go into a room and just try and see what you can do and everything. I mean,
Yeah.
we do that, but like on my way to like practice, I'll warm up and then I'll just do like the weirdest sounds, like noises and accents and kind of, like if anyone heard it, it'd probably be like that guy needs sectioning. You know what I mean? Like that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Audio Slave, I missed them, all of it. Sorry, go
oh
on,
yeah, of
continue.
course, yeah. Well, yeah, he had obviously Soundgarden, Audio Slave, and then wasn't he in a wasn't he in Temple of Dogs with Eddie Vedder as well?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. And I mean, I'm fine with going left, right, and center. I had tickets to see Pearl Jam on the gig that they cancelled,
Oh
and
no.
I've seen them before and everything, but I was so looking forward to it. I was like, this is gonna be good, and then they cancelled, and I was like, ah.
Yeah, I've not had a chance to see Pearl Jam yet, but
Oh, dude, I
yeah.
cried. Last time I saw them, I went by myself, some O2 Arena, and they opened with Of the Girl, and I think it's Of the Girl. Yeah, I may have got it mixed up, but I remember they dropped these huge um like lamps, almost like this giant lamp shop, and they came down and they started playing, and I just remember, yeah, it is Of the Girl, and I remember just being like, and it was like boom, like just immediate, and I was like, whoa, man, that's kind of how many bands can make you do that. But yeah, and then the first time I ever saw them was in Paris, and I remember having this feeling of like I was just that was absolutely insane. And they're still here. They're still on stage. They're still about to play more music. And I was just like, oh my God, this is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. And they played Do the Evolution, which I think, we haven't done any covers or anything. But I'm like, look, if we play a show on my birthday, we're covering that because that
Yeah.
song is screaming out for a heavy version of it.
Yeah,
Like
that
it's
that
just
fix it's already like it's already fast, isn't it? So you just need to
yeah, that
just
riff and that
yeah.
like kind of you can build up to that like chorusy like I mean like what are they called when they do it in church? Choir. They like that choiry bit in like the mid late and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that riff. Yeah, yeah, I love Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I think you could pull that song off pretty well. Just gotta convince the other guys now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know, we just haven't done any covers. I
Yeah.
mean, the other day we I think we did one Rage song about a year ago, but it's I think we just kind of just want to work on stuff, put it out there. And also the problem is, man, you do a cover. Yeah, we're not like a known band thing. You do a cover in the middle of a set, and people like whatever, like, oh my God, yeah, Incubus, that's a great song.
Yeah.
And then and then back into like,
Your own
you
stuff.
know, yeah, sort of thing. So I think for now we'll kind of step away.
Yeah, just for a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, there's quite a few I'd like to do. Like
Yeah.
that Nine Inch Nails song where you got the video, Hand That Feeds.
Oh yeah.
That oh dude, that one's screaming out to be covered heavy.
So many options.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't want to turn it into a covers band, but one or two
Oh,
here and there is
happily,
fine.
happily, just every night I was doing that. That'd be amazing. Yeah, I just the only time I've ever oh no wait sorry with more Ben Outcry we did like a charity gig and I remember there was we sort of pulled because someone had died and it was in their sleep and there's this charity called Cry. I think it's called Cry because a lot of young people do they just go to sleep and don't wake up. And there
Yeah.
was like a friend of a friend of someone in the band, and so we covered. I think we did like the Doors, Roadhouse Blues. We did just like the Strokes, like Reptilia, just sort of really like pull back and everything. But I remember when Rage Against the Machine, who that's my favorite band of all time. When do you remember they get to Christmas number one?
Oh
Do you
yeah.
remember that they had
Yeah.
the Facebook sort of, but it just gathered steam, and they were like kind of, you guys get someone, we're doing the free show. I remember it was like we played like the weekend before or something, and we were just like, look, if you've not voted yet, let's do it. I remember doing Killing the Name, and I remember it was going off anyway, but like that energy, that did it, did it. I was like, man, I wish we wrote this one. I was like, this was unbelievable.
Yeah, because it wasn't like every year it was like an X Factor single would always hit
Yeah,
number one. It was that one year where
yeah,
it's like, no, let's get Killing in the Name
yeah,
into a
yeah.
Christmas single. Yeah.
And then they put the free show at London on their like the DVD of like release of the the first album like remastered or something.
Yeah.
And like yeah, and I don't know, I might have it wrong. Someone told me it was the sort of the same sort of crew that were behind Fight Club, which I don't know whether I believe or not. But yeah, it's that's a hell of a show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was lucky. I got to go to that. Yeah, and Gallo supported. Crushed it. Like it was
Amazing.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was free. Like
What more could you want?
yeah, yeah. I mean, some of the gigs now, man, are so expensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, luckily, not really in terms of like the smaller rock stuff and everything. But I mean, so like, I'm a diehard Oasis fan. I fucking love them. And I was just like, fucking 370s. No, like that. So I'm going to sit in front of the TV and I'm just going to pretend I'm there. That's a good thing now with YouTube footage and stuff. It's so high quality. You can
Yeah.
just sit there and just tell yourself, like, if you missed the gig, yeah, I was there. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
Yeah,
see the whole thing. Yeah. From
yeah.
the comfort of
But
my own living room. Yeah.
exactly. But Setlist FM,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Which I remember when that thing came out, I was telling everyone like this years ago, this is amazing. And sometimes if I miss a gig, I'm like, man, I can't believe I couldn't make it. And I'll check it and I'll just see like, oh my God, they played this and played that. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one good thing about technology. Like, you couldn't have done that like 10, 15
Well,
years ago, could you? Yeah.
dude, we can do this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, there's so much kind of sometimes you just sort of like, because, sometimes you can lose yourself in the phone and be like, hey, what? Wow, have I gone down this rabbit hole? Like I said, I'm a lorry driver, and the other day I was listening, and I did enjoy this. It was like these like horror stories of what like the American like GIs saw in the jungles of Vietnam. Just all these like
Right.
and not like kind of like awful human massacre, like kind of like weird shit. You know what I mean? Like kind of ghosts and like monsters and stuff. And I just was lapping it up. I was just like, this is great because I never would have found it if I just didn't Google largest snakes in the jungle or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did, sometimes when you go down those rabbit holes sort of thing, you can be like, oh, I'm just wasting my life. And other times you're like, this is why I was born.
Yeah. And then you look, oh, I've 2 hours have gone by now. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah.
it's now 3 a.m. and I'm up at 6. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to the EP, so you've got a video for Two of a Kind, which you put like some information and stats and stuff about mental health and the stigmas of mental health. Like how did that come about? It's quite a heavy but it's important topic, to address mental health like
Yeah.
that.
Completely honest, I had nothing to do with that.
Right.
I no, that was John Fraser who's done like a lot of like promos for us, and he did a video for Perfect Storm from the last one, and we were kind of thinking, weighing out kind of like how much should we put into this video, kind of, and how much is the value of videos now in comparison to the music. I'm sort of always like, music is, that's what we want to keep
Yeah.
putting some money into sort of thing, right? And he came up with this idea, and originally I think it was meant to be me sat in the chair, and then I get like plugged in and stuff. I had work and I couldn't do it. And Rick, who's far more, better looking than I am and everything, I was like, dude, you do it. And he was like, yeah, all right, like that. And then it came back, and I was like, oh wow. And then, and John had put that information on there, and like I don't I don't know if he just did it without talking to us about it, but I was like, oh man, I back that. There's some good stuff because that's the thing is that man. I mean, like, and what's nuts is like when I was young, there was none of that chat, man.
Yeah.
There was like kind of like either like just like, dude, why you being a pussy, or,
Yeah. Man up.
or like
Yeah.
you start talking about mental health, people just looking like that, which is what's awesome now. Everyone is, you know what I mean? Like people coming in and getting diagnosed left, right, and center. And I think it's, like that Whilst You Sleep song, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know a single person right now who's just like, everything's going great. It's like there's nah, it's like what people, all, sorts. Sometimes it's like I've got a friend of mine who just checks in on me all the time, and I don't think it's because he's necessarily, kind of like worried about me. He just is one of those guys who just sort of, it's with my old school friends. He just sort of pulls us back together once a year. We'll go, meet up. And the other day, he just gives me a call out of the blue. How you doing? How's this and everything? And it just happened because I'm one of those people. If I'm going through some shit, I go here and I go round and I
Just
go
bottle
round,
up. Yeah.
and then I just make it 20 times worse than it is. Like he said that. I can't believe he said that. Yeah, and suddenly you're just like, it's like it's all the universe is. It's just that one thing, and sometimes you have to learn. But you know what? Maybe he didn't mean to say that. Maybe I should just change the page and think about, how many bananas I could fit into the car I'm in, or whatever. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
when you hear like stuff on the news, like some guy's done something horrific, and you're like, I guarantee he didn't want to do that,
Yeah.
and he just got a bit caught up in whatever in his ex or the fact he got fired or whatever. But yes, I definitely think it's talking is the thing because
Yeah.
that so much of it is once you just say about it, then you kind of said it now. I tell you what I do every now and then. Um if I can't sleep and I'm just going round, I'll get my phone out and I just jot on like, today I feel like fucking shit because the fact that, whatever, and I boom. And then, when I'm trying to find a password, I've lost them and I find it in my notes, I'm like, oh God, I remember that. And I remember how I felt. And then in the end, that never happens. Because that's the thing is, what I've learned with life is shit you worry about never happens. Always something else, which is in some ways better because, oh, I didn't expect that to happen. I was worried that, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Like I'm kind of bottled up sometimes, like 'cause I just think I don't want to like bother other people about it, but I know whilst I'm doing it that it's the wrong thing to do, but I still do it anyway. I don't know like
Oh,
how
yeah.
our minds work, and yeah, it's
I,
crazy
I, I
sometimes.
think we're engineered to. Because when you
Yeah,
have a friend and they're like, man, I'm a piece of shit. And you're like, no, dude, you're awesome. You're just going through this or whatever.
yeah,
And sometimes, you give them such positive, like, sort of love or whatever, like this positive energy. And then afterwards, you're like, man, I wish I could do that to myself. But, and not even in some way where you're going around like all egotistical, just to help balance. And so what I try and do, like I've said this a few times, is I just want to wake up because my head's always just this mess. I made ADHD, so like I had to take my meds first thing in the morning, and then 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, here you go. But I just always just try and lean just towards the positive, just even just a little bit. I don't wake up ever like kind of like that's
yeah,
great sort
yeah,
of thing. It's this thing of like, oh God, and then just forward rather than negative. And I mean, one, having my kid change everything because I was like, I can't keep doing this in my head. It's not beneficial. And also, you don't have the time. You know what I mean? You literally don't have the time to sit there wondering what life's about and what fate is and should I have done this and all this sort of stuff. You just sort of like bottle, clear that up. Like kind of Teletubbies, well, Teletubbies get that on, all that sort of
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
you also did a video for Under the Wire, and there's this one bit like where you're pouring like coffee. Like, how did that not splash onto
yeah.
your your jumper? Like stain-free jumper, man.
I tell you, this is the magic of uh the secrets is we had a just like a plastic tub. If someone like stays over and they're like, dude, I need like a bucket, and you're like,
Oh
here you
yeah,
go,
yeah.
have that. It was like that behind the counter and just went like that. And I remember thinking, oh, this is great. I'm not getting any of it on me
Because
at
you're wearing a
all.
white jumper as well, is like the
Yeah,
worst
I
kind.
know,
Yeah,
I know, yeah, yeah. My sister got me that jumper like the day before and or something, but that video came about, and like that's like and we were really sort of like, we don't want to do this sort of us just playing in a room. We've done it before. We wanted it to be a little bit off and a little bit weird and kind of like, and it's a bit like because where we shot, it's some beautiful sort of thing. It's not like I'm in some squat sort of thing, like an Eli man. And so a few people are like, why are he, upset if you're in that gorgeous place sort of thing. But I don't know. I thought it was good. It was like very British, even though I don't sound British. I am. Um, and yeah, it came out good. But that was, and also we had to do the thing where it was like played back like twice the speed, and to learn, and it was a relatively new song at the time. Yeah, all the lyrics,
yeah,
get them all right and everything. And I was doing it in long takes, and so many times I was just like, I can't get that out of it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Just having to listen to the song over and over and over again until it's
Oh
nailed
yeah,
down. Yeah.
yeah. And then what really sucked was some people came and sort of saw us playing when we were playing in the field, sort of thing, which is another weird thing because we're not sort of like, amped up and everything.
Right.
And they were sort of like, yeah, like that. And I wanted to be like, just to let you know, this isn't actually how the song is. This is played like twice the speed and actually sound
Yeah.
like a chipmunk, like a heavy chipmunk screaming over fast beats, which I would pay to see for the record. That'd be amazing.
Yeah. It's just like a sped up remix in a way, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And in those sort of times, and also like when I'm going down the road, and then you get some people, it's always awkward because sort of, you're like, oh God, this guy must think I'm just such a dick. I'm just this like such old dude screaming at his camera sort of thing. And then yeah, but you have to like push back all that awkwardness and just hope that it turns out good.
But yeah, you mentioned before, obviously you were in a band before called Outcry Collective, and then you broke up. I think you broke up in like 2010, 2011. But then I also found out like during that time, you also did like we spoke about Pole before, but I think you did a vocal spot on one of their songs. I think the song's Cowboy the Fuck Up. So that was,
Yeah,
yeah. And then you did a song with the Computers, and then you did a song with a band called
mate,
MIDGAR.
Jesus,
Yeah,
dude, you've done your
I
research.
did do
Yeah,
my
man.
research. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
dude, you really. Wow, yeah, I haven't thought about that. Wow, you know what I can think about right now is that the Computers, phenomenal band. We toured them a lot. And so they asked me to come down and do like a little track on theirs, which, wow, that's amazing you brought that up. And I remember I haven't apologized to them yet, 'cause I haven't seen him yet, but Larry from 100 Reasons produced it.
Right.
And as you and your listeners, especially ones that might have switched off right now, can tell, I can talk and talk. And this is me now sort of doing my best to try and like kind of shut up, right? But I remember I was in the studio and I was, full bottle of Jack Daniels a day sort of thing. Just down, 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 and just
Yeah.
da 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 da. He's poor guy, he's working there. And I remember that came back and I mixed solo and I spoke to Alex about the singer. And I was like, I had to go say, yeah, man, I don't think you really like what you did. Yeah, sometimes I should shout, which is what I plan on doing in between songs on Saturday. I just go like that.
Just try and zip your lip.
Yeah. Fucking move. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, I was like looking up. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize you did all that, but yeah,
And so much stuff which never has come out. Like I'm sure loads of, yeah, your listeners and audience have been in bands or written stuff, and so much of it just doesn't come out for whatever reason. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You put your heart and soul in something, and sometimes it just doesn't, you know, get out there or doesn't get finished. But yeah, there's a few sort of bits and bobs, and I think all of that was pretty much pre-YouTube. You know what I
right,
mean? That
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of that, which was a different thing entirely, man. When
yeah,
like the only promotion you had was just to get out there and play to 12 people in, Birmingham or whatever. And I did my fair share of that. It was fun and all, but yeah, I think the internet's very good for trying to help promote bands like that.
yeah. Do you do much music stuff between the two bands, or was that pretty much it?
Um, no, yeah, I did a few projects that just never got off the ground. One with me doing like really like singing,
Right.
like like I don't know, like a while back I was like I just want to learn how to play the guitar and did a lot of acoustic stuff. I remember in lockdown I sent this Kings of Leon song called Going Nowhere, right? And it came out at like the perfect time when it was like we're all stuck, we're in lockdown. I remember like I'm just gonna learn that. And like my friend's like a musician, and so I did a cover of it, and and people are there that can like play guitar and sing. That is a skill set thing, and a few songs I can kind of get away with it, right? No one's gonna, particularly I don't think, be like, well, sign that guy up. But I sent him this cover, and then like a week later he sent it back, and he turned it, and it's an acoustic song anyway. But he turned it into like a full band. He'd gone, he put drums and he lead guitar and everything, and he put all my vocals, but he put it into like a lead guitar. And he's like, dude, what are we gonna do with this? This is great, man. This is really good stuff. And I was like, dude, it's Kings of Leon. Like, if I didn't make that wrong, because
Yeah.
I did not write that. Yeah, yeah. I should have just been like, yeah, man. See what you
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Just
yeah.
go shop it around. Yeah, I got another one. It's called Sex on Fire. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Check that
yeah.
one out.
Just never,
Yeah,
never listen to this band, Kings of Leon. Like, there's
yeah,
no reason to not listen to them, but just
yeah,
don't listen to
yeah.
them.
Then you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I, I wouldn't. Or I just started playing drums. When in COVID, like Nick left his drum set up in the practice space, and I used to go down and just sort of bash him. That's what I wish. If I could go back to when I was younger, I wish I would have picked up the drums, because that
Mm.
is therapeutic. Just slam, and like, doesn't matter if you miss hit or whatever like that. Yeah, I once saw this. I went to my lady's niece's Christmas, like uh end of year sort of like music thing. And this kid, this is the most rock and roll thing I've ever seen in my life. This kid must have been about 6, right? They all got up, everyone sang, little songs here and class songs and stuff. This guy got up and he's wearing like this hoodie, no, I mean a onesie, right? And I can't remember what song he was playing. He was playing it, and then he just like zipped up his hood, which was over his face,
Right.
right? So now he can't even like fucking see what he's doing, right? But when he did that, he moved in his chair, and then he was just missing everything and like hitting everything. And it was just this thing where everyone was like, "This is so awkward." And then he got up, and then he just sort of he just kind of burst into tears, still wearing the thing, and threw himself on the floor. And I was just like, that's my guy. That was fucking sick. I really wanted to stand up and be like, dude, that was so much better than that kid singing, like whatever it was. But
Yeah.
who knows? He might be the next Slipknot drummer in 10 years or something.
Maybe.
But I would say zipping up over your face so you can't see the drum kit, that's where he went wrong.
Yeah, probably a bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that.
No, no, no. For any drummers listening, do not do that.
Yeah,
No,
no.
no. But one common thing that you have got between Outcry Collective and State of You is in both bands you toured with Young Guns. So
Oh God, man,
yeah,
so many times, dude. I mean, we were talking about it with Gus, I think, and I was like, I think we worked out it was like 15 times. I mean, literally, there's been a few bands I've been really lucky enough to kind of tour with before they got big. I mean, I remember
right.
like touring with Havana, when they had Ryan screaming on them, and then they got like they remember their first UK tour. That was nuts, because it was us, they remember, Maiden and the Sons of Disaster, right? Who I still love, right?
Yeah,
And I was just so buzzing about playing with Maiden, and it was sort of like one of the first sort of shows or tours that we did with like established bands, where it felt like they were here, and in our heads they must be all happy. They must all be happy because they've all made it to some sort
made
of
it.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I remember we were playing to like sold out full crowds, getting great reactions. And then when they came up, man, the energy, it was like that rage bouncing sort of thing. But yeah, Young Guns, all the best guys, absolute sweethearts. And yeah, we were really lucky, because I think it was our second show with State of You that they were like, do you want to come out and tour with us? And suddenly we're playing to like sold out sizable rooms, 700,
yeah,
600, whatever. Um, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, they're great guys, really good guys.
yeah. What do you think's changed the most about being in a band and your outlook in a band between those two periods?
Oh, everything, man. Like,
Everything.
dude, if you'd have told me like halfway through the band that would split up, it probably would have crushed me as much as it did because I didn't see it coming, and I felt
Right.
like it was my whole identity, like kind of, and I don't know, I just sort of felt like, oh, maybe this is where I'm meant to be, you know what I mean? Kind of like, and all that shit in the past and kind of my take on it, it's all going to be worthwhile because it's all just going to sort of work out. And I think and we had the best time, like the best time. That's the thing is, I think afterwards, what I missed the most was like the banter in the van. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
like, shows, it's great when your music sort of connects. That it's amazing, but you kind of they're like snapshot Polaroid memories almost. But times when like, and I still talk with them. You know what I mean? Like we'll say so. Like, do you remember? Like we'll just say like one word, and it just makes you
Yeah.
laugh and stuff. But I definitely feel like kind of, I wish I could go back and be like, no, look, don't focus on. I don't know if it's envy or jealousy or feeling like you need to be accepted and to be uh, embraced because this is my belief, right? You can have, and I know so many talented like musicians and actors and stuff. We're like, yeah, they should be huge. They should have a yacht and accolades, and it just didn't click in the place, or whatever, right? And I think now I'm way more kind of like, look, it like it's about just enjoying the time playing and being able to just sort of you know get it out there and whether people like it, whether people don't, it's so secondary to kind of like getting out. Like I said, I'm a lorry driver, so I spend most of my time now just me quiet sort of thing, which is
Right.
probably why I've absolutely unloaded on you. Um, I'm getting like my month's worth of talking out in one on this chat. But yeah, I feel like kind of like with me, I have to scream. You know what I mean? Like kind of like I just feel like it's like the one outlet where like kind of it helped me when I was younger. Then I had to just shut it down when the band ended, and I was so heartbroken. And I moved to Thailand for a year, and I was just which I was just writing fiction, and then I got roped into getting up and doing these like covers. I like Rage Against the Machine with like this Thai covers band that I pray to God there's never any footage of it. Um, but and then that became a thing. And every time I went to this bar and I lived on this one beach on this one island, I was like, oh, Steve, get up, get up, get up. And I was like, no, I don't really, I don't really want to. I don't. It wasn't meant to happen. You know what I mean? Like kind of the universe.
Right.
When like you're headed somewhere and you feel like, hey, whatever. I've done on my list. I'm ticking off. I'm staying positive. I'm heading this way. I'm heading this way. And the universe is like, you ain't shit. And then just like a mosquito flick, and you're like, well, then what's my life about, sort of thing.
Right.
And I felt like I had that. I was, I don't know, lost for like a while, sort of thing. And then for it to come back now, when I really didn't think it would ever come back ever. Like, genuinely, you let go of your dreams and it comes back. Now it feels like I can actually enjoy it, and you know, I'm old enough now to be kicked enough times that I haven't got any. I don't think I've got some ego where I'm like people should listen to me and I'm this or that or anything. I'm just like, this is great. I get to get up in front of people and scream my ass off down a microphone and kind of and just forget about everything for a while and not care. I mean, I went through a phase when I was like, I want hecklers. Come on, someone fucking heckle me. I want to fucking tear you to shreds. Like, I think like on tour you can kind of get into this Groundhog Day thing where it feels like, hang on, this was meant to be my jailbreak, my getting away from my previous life, my demons, my bullshit, and it's just gonna be fun. And then suddenly, like, kind of, it feels like you can go like, all right, so now it's sound check and this and that, and kind of. and then it's the people which really make it worthwhile. And then the shows, but after a while, I was like, I want to get some like real. I'm jinxing it now, possibly, but some real negative, like shit. But the problem is this now. Like, I mean, the band I'm in, as players, they're all really, really good. They're all
Yeah.
really, they know what they're doing. They're really tight. So, I mean, if you know, I think you could probably be like, that was awesome. Your singer's fucking shit. Not that I think I'm shit, but also Rick is so big on bass. I think I'd have to pull him back. He's, I'd be like, no, no, Rick, no, 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 no. Please,
Yeah, yeah.
please, let me just talk to this guy and kind of like separate his soul from his body and make his energy go out of his knees. Then he can go home and think about it. Because I've been that guy
Yeah.
when I was younger. I've stupidly said some stupid comments and forgotten about the fact that someone's got up on stage in spite of, their nerves or whatever to get up and, perform something like that. Because it's not easy. And then I don't get nervous. I don't sort of like, going back to the drumming thing, what I learned is, if you build something up in your head, like, here we fucking go, this is the show. We've got some press coming, we've got some label coming, and we've got, the guitar from this band, and it says, we better impress. Then you're gonna be thinking about that.
Yeah.
And then if you're just playing because you want to, and if something goes wrong, something always goes wrong every day in life, you know what I mean? And it to be like, well, you know, if it's someone keeping score, then it's not. I mean, ultimately, we're like a. I mean, I'm not very good with genres. We look like a garage punk rock band sort of thing. You know what I mean? We're not got like, like the DJ and like a guy playing whatever the accordion sort of thing. Get up, play, get off. So I'd say now, you know, I feel like I can finally just let go of any that ego and kind of feel like, oh, by June we need to be, here and there. It's just like, get up, play it, because this could be the last time we ever play live. You never know what's going to happen, man. You could get hit by a bus or someone moves away to New Zealand for 6 months. You got to put it all on hold for a bit. So
Yeah.
it's just like just a show and just to give it everything you can and just hope that you don't get sick beforehand.
Yeah. And just, I guess, just enjoying it for every moment that you have with it. Because, like, say, you don't know when the last moment will be.
Yeah, which is like life. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of
Yeah.
it's nuts when someone, that or even like to some, famous celebrity you admire, whether they go and that's it, they're gone. And they weren't told on that day, you're like, good morning, here's your tea, you're gonna die today. You don't think
Yeah.
that. You're like, fucking shoes, like, I've got to deal with it, like that. But I think it's so impossible to constantly be in a state of this is amazing. I've won the lottery just to be here. It's not the way life works.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're either sort of worried or you're bored or But then you get these fun moments, and sometimes it's not even something that you think would be amazing. It's like you're like, oh, that's really cool. Some you know dog I don't know came up and was really friendly. Whatever. I mean, there's better shit that can happen in your life than
Yeah, but
that. But
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what else is planned for the band so far for this year that you could talk about? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, this just last week we've had a lot of good press and some sort of pretty nice things that are being said. I sort of feel like this is probably the best press I've been involved with, like musically sort of thing. So we've had some shows. Sort of people have come to us like, "Do you want to play this? Do you want to play that?" So I don't know if they're confirmed, but I mean, so like last week we had to turn like some big shit down just because of the
right.
fact that like someone wasn't here sort of thing. So all I know is any show that's sort of going to get offered to us, I'm up for it right now. Whether it's playing Kennystown Forum or playing you know maybe not in a park, but I don't care playing with 5 people or whatever. Just as long as I can clear it with my lady and she's all right, then I'll take my son the next day and we balance off and trade off. Then that will be fine. But I'm pleased because the first practice we had back, my body was just like, I haven't done this in a while. My voice was just like really kind of like I could feel it kind of going. And
Right.
then, the last time we did like 25 song in practice, and I was like, oh no, it's still there. I've still got it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Just take it as it comes. Yeah.
yeah, take it as it comes.
Yeah. Well, Steve, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it, and the chat and the EP and everything. It all sounds really exciting. So yeah, amazing.
I really appreciate you having me on, and you're very generous to let me just let us talk and
Hey,
talk. I think I needed this, dude. I think I genuinely,
it's a
I
podcast. I want you
genuinely
to
needed
talk,
it.
so it's all good for me, man.
But yeah, real pleasure to have you on. Like I said, I've listened to you for a little while, so yeah, but this is awesome success for you, man. Like, keep going, man. There's a good vibe you got here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have you got any final words, anything you want to plug or say before I let you go and enjoy the evening?
I would just say people in the heavy community, I think, tend to be some of the coolest in terms of they're the most sort of deep thinkers, sensitive, and sometimes I think from the outside it can get a bad rep. You have someone there, how they look or whatever, and the music they listen to. But, you get talking to anyone. They're always really, really, really cool. I find like that, and just I think when I was younger, I was kind of terrified. I was like, I don't think that anyone's going to accept me into it. Even now, man, I don't have any tattoos or anything like that. I'm just
Yeah.
not sort of that guy. And then you sort of realize, well, you don't have to be a certain way. As long as you like the music you like. Oh, that's the last thing I say is you've got a band that you love, right? Just check, go and book a ticket in advance. You have something to look forward to. You have something to look forward to in the year. It's just something that, oh, cool, or like whatever. Today's Dragon, but in 2 months' time, I get to go and see, a certain name here, at there. Like I do a lot of shit, sort of what I used to before my kid, like by myself and stuff. And some of those are the best times you meet people and stuff. But yeah, and also I'd say, we're really lucky that the British rock scene is still beating some great bands, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Guilt Trip. There's some really good stuff happening. So yeah, just keep going. And if you like music and you're playing an instrument or whatever, just keep playing it. And eventually you'll slot into a band, and then next thing you might get signed or whatever. But yeah, it really is for the love of the music. That's it.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree. Yeah. Well, yeah, again, Steve, thanks again. And yeah, I'll let you go.
Okay, thank you so much. Cheers, Zach.
Yeah, awesome, dude. See you soon. And that's it. Thanks so much for tuning in to It's Not a Phase. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Leave a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Follow the podcast on social media. And maybe even join the Patreon or grab some merch from the store. You can find everything that you need at itsnotaphase.co.uk. That's itsnotaphase.co.uk. Thanks again. Hopefully catch you on the next one. And remember, it's not a phase, it's a lifestyle.